Iron Beam is the industry leading broker catering to traders worldwide. With the free Iron Beam platform and free real-time data, you can
Howdy, test, test. We are here. Another episode of State of the Real Estate Market. Just want to make sure we got everybody in here. Thank you for hanging in there. Make sure we are good. Check, check, check. We are good there. Good here. All right. See what we got. Hey, if you guys can hear me well, give a thumbs up or just say hello. If you're in the chat, say hello. All right, guys. So what we're going to do is go ahead and get started. State of the real estate market. This is March. I am Chris Brown, your host. State of the real estate market with yours truly, Chris Brown. Today, we have another great episode of what to expect, what's going on in the market. It's a time of uncertainty, and everybody is asking, what is next? So, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and jump into today's um, episode of State of the Real Estate Market. We'll go ahead and get us started. So, with that being said, State of the Real Estate Market, it is the if you haven't already done so, be sure to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. This is a platform that we not only talk about buying, selling, and investing in real estate, but we also talk about building generational wealth, hot topics about entrepreneurship, and just really what's going on. All right. So, today's takeaways, each month we give a lot of information out. I talk about a couple of different things that are of hot topic and make sure that you guys know what we're going to chit chat about. We have a renowned economist that has recently partnered with the Stellar MLS. So this top information is going to be coming from that individual, and I'll go through that. Market trends that have been identified in 2024, and should we expect these same trends in 2025? Listing activity trends. A lot of people have had questions about the number of properties that are being placed on the market. Are sellers actually placing properties on the market now? What's going on, or what happened in the past? What should we expect? Home prices, ups and downs. We hear so much in the media, and we're going to see how it applies to your specific market. In this market, is this a market to flip in? And that's always a question that I get. I get those messages on a regular basis. Should I try to flip a property in today's market? Every market, there's an opportunity, but the same strategies that have been used in the past may not be the same as today. So that's something that we'll definitely discuss. And should you continue to think about selling your home? Yes, people are selling their homes. Now, the expectations of a seller, that has changed, and we'll kind of go through that. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and dive on it. All right, so internationally renowned chief economist Elliot Eisenberger is an internationally renowned economist and speaker who makes economics engaging, insightful, and best of all, fun. A former senior economist at the National Association of Home Builders, he created the first nationally recognized multifamily stock index and has authored over 85 articles. So this is a person that is definitely pretty engaged in the world of real estate. His history has proven itself. One of the organizations that he's worked with is the National Association of Home Builders. I continuously visit their website for information. I gather information from all of their team of economists, so I know for a fact that he's had an influence on what's going on in the market. Stellar MLS has recently developed a partnership with this particular individual. Market meter reports delivering expert economics insights to real estate professionals. So this is something that he's been doing for a while and has developed a keen relationship. So before we dive in, I want to make sure you guys really understand where I'm gathering this information from, because it may not apply to every market. Because I know that we're getting people that are watching this episode from across the United States and in other countries as well. So, with that being said, I went ahead and provided a map where I'm gathering most of this data from. I may compare a little bit of national information that may reflect, but primarily it's from the Stellar MLS coverage. It's one of the largest MLS coverages for the state of Florida, as well as the country of Puerto Rico. So as you guys can see, the information, there's a couple of other countries that the Stella MLS in South America. They have a footprint there. You can see in Mexico, or Central America, excuse me, they have a footprint there as well, Alabama and Georgia. So keep that in mind as we're going through this and that, as I'm sharing this information with you guys. So some of the sales trends. So I'm gonna show you guys some charts, and I kind of just talk you guys through it, but just kind of give you a better understanding of what you're actually looking at. So sales trends, starting back in January of 2020, you can see where the number of sales, the average sale price, where you can see the increase from 2020 to 2024. You can see the big jump in that 21. So that's kind of like that pandemic time, that 20 to 2021. That was during the pandemic time. So in 2024, average sales price is about 463.80 in 2024. Increase since 2020 of 50.6%. Now, the increase from 2023 to now to 2024 is 2.1%. So that's a smaller increase than what it has been in the previous years. So keep that in mind. And then also trending, I'm going to show you guys this chart that's over here. You'll see this information on residential unit sales. So this is just giving you a gauge of how the sales were in 2020, and then that's on the far left, and then in the gray here you get that 2021, and that seems to be of the highest of these five comparable years. And then in 2022 still had a number of sales, but it did decrease from 2021. And then you see a slight decrease in 2023, and then you see it's a decrease, but a very small decrease in 2024. So a lot of times people are asking, are we really selling homes like we were before? Homes are definitely selling. They're just not selling as rapidly as they were before. So inventory, active listings, always want to know what is the availability of homes to actually purchase. That's a big thing. Just because people are wanting to buy it, it also has to deal with, are there actual homes available for them to buy? So as we look over to the left here, let me get this word. Go. So as we look over to the left there, you're going to see 2020, and then you're going to see 2021, and then you're going to see 2022, 23, and this is 24 right there, just to kind of give you guys a gauge of what's going on. Give me a moment here. Make sure we're good to go. So with that being said, I want to make sure that you guys get this information and see exactly what's happening. So as you guys can see, active listings. So this is inventory. So the inventory is saying that the inventory wasn't as much. Remember, we did see higher prices that were in that 2021 range. So the inventory is less, and since then we've been gaining on the amount of inventory that's available. Now, for the longest, inventory has been short. That's what economists have been saying, that we have a shortage in inventory. With that shortage of inventory, then you're facing different scenarios where that's where you have where the prices go up. Where we had a high demand. We had a high demand but low supply. So what does that typically do? That increases our prices. So average monthly listings, approximately 66,000, almost 67,000. 24 versus 23. 47, you had a 47.3%. So it's showing that inventory increasing from 23 to 24. And then from 20 to 24, you saw that there was an increase as well. And that's 54.3%. So if you kind of do the math there, you had a huge increase from 23 to 24. So keep that in mind. Months of inventory. So that's where we're currently at. Months of inventory is at a 5-month supply. So keep in mind, what this means is this is the number of properties that are on the market and that are available at this time, and how long are they staying on the market. So it's saying about a 5-month supply of homes. Whereas if you remember during the pandemic, homes were you would have multiple offers within an hour of homes being on the market. So this is a completely different market than what we were facing before. Then down in this area right here, you see this chart, 795 active listings in December of 2024 versus 54.8 active listings in December of 2023. So you can see the big difference. There's going from 54 to 70,000 and 1 year over year, and that's from 23 to 24. So keep that in mind. Now, this has always been a big topic. Mortgage rate trends. This has always been a big topic because a lot of people have been experiencing the interest rates. We haven't. So many people were spoiled. Let me put it that way. So many people were spoiled by interest rates. We haven't had an interest in interest rates until we realized that they started going up. And what happens is when those interest rates were going up, home affordability was becoming less for a number of individuals, but not only just because of the interest rates, but also keep in mind the prices were going up. So keep that in mind as well. So when interest rates were in the sub threes, a lot homes were affordable to a number of people. Now that prices have gone up and interest rates have gone up, that high demand for homes has decreased, and buyers' interest has also decreased. And that's something I've been reporting to you guys on a regular basis. That's been the report on a regular basis from month to month. But this is kind of a historic map. If you want to look for March of 2020, you can see sub 4%. Then you see where it dipped down into the sub 3%. That's all around 2021. You can see that. And then you started having an increase in interest rates going into 22. Kept increasing, increasing. A little dip, increasing. The little dip here, dip. Then it came back up, bounced up. Then you also had it in March of 24, and you kind of see it decrease a little bit and then it kind of increase a little bit more. So that's showing you what the actual trends are for what's been going on in the marketplace. Now, median price percentage changed. So this is huge because a lot of people were thinking that the prices were going up and up and up. But this chart is going to provide you the information of how nationally the market looks, as well as has as the information from the Stellar MLS. So remember that map that I showed you at the beginning. So in green, you have a national number, right? And in purple, you have the Stellar MLS. So as the national number spiked up, and that's around 21, you can see where the Stellar MLS was gradually increasing. And you see how then it started decreasing for national. And this is where some markets may experience something different than the market that I'm in, where you can see where the market was continuously, it was still going up, but slowly going up. Whereas over here, it kind of spiked up. And then you see it starting to trend downwards. And this is what we're facing at right now. And this is 2024 towards the end of 2024 right here. So this gives you a better idea of how the median prices were looking. So 2024, it looks like it ended around 367,000 compared to 430 nationally. So in my market, a lot of people are asking, why are so many people moving to Florida? This is a big reason why a lot of people are moving to Florida, because they see that, or they're able to see that the market, even though it increased from previous years, the price point wise, but you can also see the decrease in also how the homes have been impacted compared to nationally. You get a lot of people that are moving from out west where home prices are much higher than people in the Northeast. They're also moving down to Florida, prices are much higher. So to them, the Florida market is cheap or reasonably priced versus where their market is. So that's where you're getting a lot of that transition. So that's the big report. That was like the big report that was annually provided. Like I always tell you guys, go ahead and be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already done so. We're not done yet, so don't go away. But we definitely have some other information I wanted to share with you guys. But I definitely want to share my contact information. That's my contact information. You can find me on social media at ChrisBrownREPro, pretty much on multiple platforms, on all the platforms for the most part. If you have any questions, a lot of people send me direct messages on a regular basis. They're reaching out to me, so I appreciate that, being able to get those questions answered for you guys. Let's see here. So what I wanted to do and wanted to share with you guys was another report that recently came out um, regarding the market. And this is just something that I like to share with you guys. My opinion of what's going on. Should we invest in this market? It's an opportunity. The opportunity is there. You just have to be a bit more savvier than the typical people that we're getting in the market in 2021. You can pretty much buy anything and place some paint on it and somebody was going to buy it. So if you're in the rehabbing world, right now you have to be mindful of your market. What's hot? What properties are typically selling right now? Is it, 2 bedrooms, two-bedroom homes versus four-bedroom homes? Are you having individuals move or are you having families move? These are the things that people need to pay close attention to. What's actually trending? Are people buying single family homes? Are they buying townhomes? Are they buying multi units? Are they buying new construction versus resale? These are the things that you have to be mindful of. Each market is different. So a lot of people ask me that, and I'm like, hey, it is completely different in each market. So be mindful, make sure you're doing the research, have a team that's around you that can help support you and provide you with the information and the answers to the questions that will help you have a successful property to rehab and flipping. Are people selling? Yes, people are definitely selling. Listings out there. Inventory, as the report reflects, inventory has increased. It's just that now we need to have the um, buyers to actually increase it. What is their interest right now, considering the interest rates? Now that the interest rates are seemingly at a little bit more of a settled point, whereas they kept going up and up and up. Um, buyers are starting to get back into the market. Their interest is starting to develop a bit more. So this is something that we're going to see what's going to happen. We're starting to enter into the selling season. So typically starting in March, that's where it begins. And then about midsummer, July, into July, that's when things start teetering off. So these next couple of months, you'll start seeing some high activity, and that's been traditional high activity. So we want to see if that's going to be the same. What's going to happen? Are interest rates going to be a difference? Are we going to see a decrease? We have been seeing a slight trending downwards on the interest rates, but it's not significant. They're like slight, very minute decreases, but it's giving you more of that settled impression where you're not having so much volatility with the rate. So the last piece I wanted to share with you guys is why housing market rebounds as mortgage rates stabilize. And this is what I was just talking about. So I want you guys to take a look at this.
Sales of previously owned homes in the U.S. rebounded unexpectedly in February, advancing 4.2% from the month prior. That was well above analyst estimates for a 3.2% decline in sales. NAR Chief Economist Lawrence Yun says more inventory
are releasing pent-up housing demand. Here to dig into what this means for the spring home buying season, we have Danielle Hale, Chief Economist at Realtor.com. Great to have you back on the program with us. What do you believe is driving this unexpected rebound?
Yeah, I think it's important to put that rebound in context. So we did see sales pick up in January, but January
Fallen
fell
quite a
quite a
bit
bit
from
from
December,
December,
and
and
February's
February's
numbers,
numbers,
though
though
higher,
higher,
did
did
not
not
surpass what
surpass
we
what we
saw in
saw in
December,
December,
and
and
it
it
also
also
trailed
trailed
behind
behind
a
a
year
year
ago
ago
by
by
about
about
1.2%.
1.2%.
So
So
it
it
was
was
a
a
better
better
than
than
expected
expected
number,
number,
but
but
still
still
some
some
gradual
gradual
slowing
slowing
in
in
response to
response
the
to the
fact
fact
that
that
mortgage
mortgage
rates have
rates
been
have been
higher
higher
in
in
recent
recent
months
months
than
than
we
we
had
had
seen
seen
them
them
in
in
last
last
fall when
fall
they
when they
got
got
down to
down to
almost
almost
6%
6%
in
in
September.
September.
So
So
I
I
think
think
we're
we're
seeing
seeing
some
some
momentum
momentum
shift.
shift.
At the
At the
same
same
time,
time,
the
the
longer
longer
mortgage
mortgage
rates
rates
remain
remain
higher,
higher,
the
the
more
more
that
that
consumers
consumers
kind of
kind of
acclimate to
acclimate to
this
this
new
new
normal.
normal.
And
And
the
the
fact that
fact that
we've
we've
seen
seen
mortgage
mortgage
rates
rates
kind of
kind of
steady in
steady in
recent
recent
weeks,
weeks,
I
I
think
think
bodes
bodes
well for
well
the
for the
spring
spring
buying
buying
season.
season.
That's
That's
great
great
context,
context,
number
number
one.
one.
And
And
number
number
two,
two,
as we
as we
think
think
about the
about the
spring
spring
buying
buying
season,
season,
how
how
are we
are we
looking
looking
at
at
this
this
kind of
kind of
setup
setup
and
and
what's
what's
expected
expected
to
to
continue to
continue to
transpire,
transpire,
whether
whether
that
that
be
be
on the
on the
mortgage
mortgage
rate
rate
basis,
basis,
more
more
tied
tied
to
to
what we're
what we're
seeing
seeing
on
on
the
the
interest
interest
rate
rate
side and
side
the
and the
10 year,
10 year,
and
and
how
how
that could
that could
potentially
potentially
unlock
unlock
some
some
of
of
the
the
potential
potential
demand that
demand
is
that's
still
still
out
out
there
there
from
from
new
new
and
and
first
first
time
time
home
home
buyers
buyers
as
as
well.
well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
so
in
in
2024,
2024,
we
we
saw a
saw a
really
really
challenging
challenging
season
season
where
where
mortgage
mortgage
rates
rates
dropped
dropped
heading
heading
into
into
the
the
beginning
beginning
of
of
the
the
year
year
and
and
then
then
skyrocketed
skyrocketed
as
as
we
we
approached the
approached the
spring
spring
buying
buying
season.
season.
So I
So I
think
think
a
a
lot of
lot of
people
people
got
got
their
their
expectations
expectations
up
up
only
only
to
to
have
have
them
them
dashed
dashed
by
by
mortgage
mortgage
rate
rate
trends
trends
in
in
2024.
2024.
This
This
year,
year,
we're
we're
almost
almost
setting
setting
up
up
for
for
the
the
opposite
opposite
because
because
we
we
saw
saw
mortgage
mortgage
rates
rates
climb
climb
heading
heading
into
into
January,
January,
and they
and they
got
got
very
very
close to
close to
7%
7%
again.
again.
Since
Since
then,
then,
they've
they've
relented a
relented a
bit.
bit.
They're
They're
still
still
not
not
low
low
by
by
any
any
stretch of the
stretch of the
imagination, but
imagination,
they
but they
have
have
come
come
down.
down.
We're
We're
in
in
the
the
high
high
sixes,
sixes,
6.65%
6.65%.
as of
As of
last
last
week's
week's
data.
data,
We'll
we'll
see
see
some
some
new
new
numbers
numbers
later
later
today from
today from
Freddie
Freddie
Mac.
Mac.
So
So
we're
we're
seeing
seeing
some
some
gradual
gradual
improvement, and
improvement, and
that
that
gives
gives
consumers, I
consumers, I
think, an
think, an
opportunity to
opportunity to
better
better
prepare for
prepare
the
for the
market.
market.
They
They
can
can
set a
set a
budget
budget
and
and
anticipate
anticipate
that
that
it's
it's
not
not
going
going
to
to
shift,
shift,
and
and
the
the
numbers
numbers
aren't going
aren't
to
going
have
to
to
have to
change
change
drastically
drastically
throughout the
throughout the
course of the
course of the
season
season
Though I would still advise that people should rate test their budget and see how fluctuations are going to impact their bottom line and the home price that they're looking for. But we're setting up for a more stable year, and that bodes well for home shoppers.
Okay, so would love to hear your tips for home shoppers as they're perhaps checking that list and adding some new listings to it maybe, and trying to figure out how they can make sure that they're best positioning themselves, not just to go out there and put in some bids, but to also make sure that they're in a comfortable position over the longer term as well.
Yeah, I think that's a great question. So I talked about mortgage rates. We do expect a little bit more steadiness in mortgage rates, but it's still a good idea to prepare for higher rates just in case, so that way you already have a plan for how you might react. It's also worth noting that consumers have a lot of control when it comes to mortgage rates. You don't control the market, but you can think about the things that you can do to control your individual rate that you'll be quoted no matter the market. So improve your credit score, drop your debt or grow your income, make a larger down payment, which would improve your loan to value ratio and potentially get you a lower mortgage rate. Or for the biggest possible savings, shop around for different rates among lenders, and that can also net you some big savings. The other thing that's not just for buyers, but also for sellers, is that the best time to sell a home is coming up. We have some very predictable trends in the housing market. It's a very strongly seasonal market. And we have looked at those historical trends and identified April 13th to 19th as the best time to list a home for sale. And if you're thinking about trying to hit that best time window, now is the time to start preparing and find your real estate team of experts to help you get your home to the market in the best week to sell.
Danielle, great to see you. Thanks so much for taking the time to break this.
Well, there you go, guys. That was it. I wanted to make sure that I chimed in, get my feedback on the market. This is March 2025, giving you guys the market update, letting you guys know what's going on. So appreciate everyone that actually had an opportunity to chime in. Like I said, guys, I want to make sure that you guys have the contact information. Make sure we still got that. Make sure you guys have my contact information. So if you want to reach out, feel free to do so. Feel free to do so. I'm on all platforms there. So all platforms being at ChrisBrownREPro. Thanks, guys. Once again, appreciate you. Chris Brown, real estate professional and marketing entrepreneur. Take care.